Welcome to the third Wednesdays at Noon session of 2023 and the ninth session of the 2022-2023 academic year. Hello. Today I'm pleased to introduce Jay Bott, engineering librarian for the session Navigating the Scholarly Communication Landscape with Scopus. Before we get started, I just want to run through a few housekeeping items. First, we are recording this session and I will send a link to the video later this week so you can revisit the webinar at your convenience. We also ask that you stay muted during the session. You can enter questions in chat and we will discuss at the end. As you settle in, I wanted to mention a few other events we have scheduled as we complete winter term. Firstly, we have 5 more Wednesdays at Noon events scheduled for the winter term. The next session on March 1st will explore ways to investigate Philadelphia neighborhoods using the extensive data library and features of PolicyMap with Public Health Librarian Kathleen Turner. Then on March 15th, Health Sciences librarian Janice Masood Paul will discuss the importance of orchids for research and will demonstrate how to obtain an orchid account and public profile to manage and share your scholarly activities. And then on March 20th, we continue our annual scholarship event series. This term, we welcome Professor Caroline Schauer, who will lead a discussion on her research and expertise on climate change and sustainability, including her work making quote-unquote plastic from food waste. I'll drop a link to our events calendar in the chat so you can read more about these exciting events, and we hope to see you there. And now if we're all set, I'll turn it over to Jay.
Thank you so much, Rachel, for a nice introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jay Bhatt. I am the Engineering Librarian in Scholarly Communications Department at Drexel University Libraries. And today's talk is all about scholarly communication using Scopus. And what we're going to cover today, we are just introducing different types of formats like peer review process, journals, thesis, conference papers, how we are going to do a basic search using Scopus, how to use Scopus to evaluate the impact of research articles, how to identify potential research collaborators using Scopus author profiles, and high impact journals and potential submission targets using the Scopus sources list. Back to the introduction to Scopus here. What is Scopus? Right. And here, the link here provides, if you click on that link, it will take you to the content review and it gives all the details about Scopus. What is basically a source neutral, expert curated abstract and citation database that places powerful discovery and analytics tool in the hand of researchers. So you're able to find latest research papers, conference papers, even books, open access papers. There are a lot of open access articles also indexed in it. And now the author profiles within the Scopus also includes the preprints if that author has deposited some preprints in different preprint servers. So Scopus is a comprehensive interdisciplinary resource for finding peer-reviewed research. Peer-reviewed papers are scholarly papers that has explained the abstracts, summary, methods, findings, and acknowledgements, and especially the total number of references which are cited within the paper. So these are the peer-reviewed research papers. We'll go in depth in a different presentation. But today we are mainly focusing on how to access Scopus from our engineering library guide or even library databases. You can go to the library homepage at library.drexel.edu and under databases by title link, you will see a link to access Scopus, or you can go to any of the library guides in engineering where under electronic databases, they will see a link to Scopus. And mainly, as I mentioned before, we will try to use Scopus to find the latest research papers on that in your topic of interest. We are going to focus on interdisciplinary areas. So you will see an example which I am using for the purpose of illustration today, how to find interdisciplinary research, the latest papers on the topic. And I have also included a link to Scopus library guide here. They have their own guide, and the next screenshot is about the section of this library guide, how it looks like. So you'll see the home page, And important thing is you will need to become a registered user by creating an account, because that is how you will be able to save your search results and so on. Uh, uh, Tips on how to search Scopus, how to create search for a particular author, affiliations, and so on. And metrics is a big part, and we'll talk about metrics also later on in the presentation. This is the bottom part of that library guide. So you can see from this screenshot here that there are more than 7,000 publishers included, more than 26,000 active journal titles, more than 243,000 books, 17.5 million open access articles. So there's a lot of things are indexed here. And in addition to it, from the metrics perspective, there are 1.8 billion cited references dating back to 1970. So there's a lot of content within Scopus, and they also have 17.6 million author profiles, and so on. And this section of the library guide has all the tutorials, webinars, tips and tricks that you might want to refer to later on. And let's get started with Scopus. So when you click on Scopus, you will see, you will be asked to log in using the Excel credentials, receive an email which you need to click, and then you enter your username and password, and you will be able to see this front page of the Scopus homepage. So basically, you can start exploring using documents, authors, research discovery. This is something new, and author affiliations. And we will come to sources part. If you're interested in looking for a particular journal title and you want to know metrics of that title, that's where you can find. And you can search within article title, abstract, and keywords. They also have search tips here that I strongly recommend you use it, because there are a lot of, you have to go very deep in order to search Scopus efficiently. So I searched for biomaterials and tissue engineering as my research keyword, which I thought could cover a lot of interdisciplinary area from the perspective of biomedicine, medicine, engineering, biology, biotechnology. And when you see the search results, you are going to see how those different subject disciplines are covered. You can also filter. That the next thing which we are going to do is how to filter using individual. So you need to click on individual if you want to select certain years, and you want to set from, you use this particular set which has found almost 32,000 papers. Interestingly, the first paper that we found is the open access paper published in Biomaterials Research Journal in 2023. And it doesn't have any citation because it's just published. So now I'm filtering my search results using, say, 2021 to 2023. And I'm covering 3 different subject areas like medicine, biochemistry, genetics, molecular biology, and material science. I'm focusing on these 3 different areas from the set that we found. So then when you click on that link, you will see all my selection. And from 32,955 documents, now we came to 2,656 at the time when I created this search. And get it is where you can click on this, and you will be able to access if you have the full paper using your Drexel credentials. Now I can select these citations and I can export to EndNote. And those who are familiar with EndNote, it is a citation management software, and using RIS format, you can be able to export these citations from Scopus into EndNote. EndNote is a discussion for another presentation, but this is how you will be able to use the citations for Scopus in writing your research paper and managing your citations. I can also save those citations, I can create a list which I can continue to save my citations for later use. So suppose I selected this citation, and under more, I can see an option for save to list, and it will give an option to create a name for the list so that I can save the list, and I can then use that list for further updating that list from additional citations. So you can see that all my terms that I use are highlighted in yellow. My subjects are also highlighted in yellow. So I'm only limiting to these three disciplines, but you can see that these set of articles from that we found earlier using our search in biometrics and tissue engineering has also articles in engineering, chemical engineering, chemistry, physics, and astronomy. So if you are really interested in how physics and astronomy has those articles, you can select this and refine your search, and you will have less number of documents, but it will have articles related to physics and astronomy. And this is how using RIS format, I can then download citations into EndNote library. I am now trying to find highest articles with the highest number of citations in the top. This initial list is only finding me the latest articles on the top. So you will see the 2023 papers, all the latest papers on top from journals like Biometrics Research, Scientific Reports in Journal of Nanobiotechnology. But I can sort under sort by option. You will see cited by highest, and when I select this option, you will see all the latest papers, all the papers with highest number of citations on the top. So the first paper from Biomaterials, which was published in 2005, has close to 4,848 citations at the time of this when I searched this. So 4,848 documents cited. I can click on Get It option to get the paper that if we have access to it or not. Authors cited by, so on. But because this is a 2023 paper, it is not cited. But I'm going to analyze my search result for my original set of total citations I found earlier. But before that, if I click on Get It option, you will see the abstract and the title, the authors. You will see how different sections within that paper. So a scholarly scientific research paper, as I mentioned before, has introduction, results, discussion, conclusions, experimental section, if there are any data available, and references, acknowledgement, and so on. And then you can be able to create the download PDF paper for the full research paper. And one example of this research paper, understanding a document record. Suppose I wanted to know more about this paper, then I can actually see and export, and you will see view all metrics for this paper. And when I do that, you will see all different Scopus metrics for this particular paper. You will also see who is the funding, where the funding is came from this research. So this is a great way to understand different papers, who are the funders, and you can apply if you think that your research area is very much similar to what this funding is all about. You can start looking at if there are any funding opportunities available from that organization, so that you can apply for funding there. So this is my original 32,995 document set, and I'm going to now analyze search results here. Again, my documents cited by a highest number of cited here. So you can see the paper, like 2005 paper highest was cited more than 4,852 signs. But Notice that a 2012 paper has even more citations than the paper from 2000. So it's a more recent paper getting more citations. So then it shows the impact of this paper, and it is also an open access paper. So it could be that because it was open access, it has more citations, or it could be that research topic that has generated a lot of attention. So now I'm going to analyze search results. All my papers, you can see for every year how many articles were published in that year. Um, so you can see the gradual increase in the number of citations for each year. And I guess the more recent this topic get more momentum after around 2000, a rapid jump in total number of articles in the last 24, 22 years. Yeah. You can also refer to documents per year by source. Source is by what name of the journal, which journals has documents published in those years. So then you can see here, uh, Journal Biomaterials has 1,595 documents. Journal of Biomedical Materials Research Part A has 966 papers. Material Science and Engineering C has 700 papers. International Journal Biological Macromolecules is 486. Molecular Science 404. So this kind of different data that you can find, and you can select. I selected only 5 titles, so that is why you see only 5 titles here. But you can select up to 10 sources for comparison purposes. And there are other datas like type of different literature. So how many conference papers, how many notes, how many books, but how many review papers, but journal articles, 62.7% of the total number of set that we found has journal articles. And then review papers comes next with 21.5% and 6% being conference papers. And you can also see different subject areas covered. Engineering with 21%, material science with 22%, biochemistry with 16%. So you can see how different subject areas are covered, and physics and astronomy has less number, but still almost 4% of those papers are from physics and astronomy area. And you can also sort by funding sponsors. You can see which foundation has more supported more papers from this. So when you go all this, do deep insight analysis of this, you will have a great idea about what to do with Scopus. Now I can also use create my save search and set a search of alert by creating an account. You can see that I have logged in now, so I am able to save my search, and I can also set search alert for it. So every time a new article is published within that set of keywords, I will get an email notification. But now I want to use a particular subject area, and I want to see different sources with a particular subject area. So I went to enter subject area, and I selected biochemistry, genetics, and molecular biology, and applied it. So now I see within biochemistry, genetics, and molecular biology area, there are 3,131 results. And here where I'm introducing the concept of site score. In Web of Science and Science Citation Index, they have something called journal impact factor. And similarly, within a Scopus, they use the term called site score. You can also see different types of metrics here. So when let's try to understand what site score means. So we go back to our library guide on Scopus, and we go to metrics. Metrics are embedded throughout Scopus at the journal, document, and author levels. And all of these metrics are designed to help facilitate the evaluation of authors, journals, and articles. So it's basically research analytics. And you will also see H indexes and site score to understand what a site score means or what an H index means. Please go and refer to this um, quick reference tool which defines everything there. But here is from the library guide, you some details about what site score metrics offer. What does it offer? It's a more transparent, current, comprehensive, and accurate indication of a serious impact. Site score metrics are available for 27,000 active titles, including 15,000 more than journal impact factor. So it will site scores have usually include peer-reviewed research, articles, reviews, conference papers, data papers, and book chapters covering 4 years of citations and publications. So the data is based upon the last 4 years of citations. So if you're looking for 2021 methodology, you are going to count total number of citations from the last 4 years, say 2018, 19, 20, and 21, divided by total number of documents published during those papers. And that ratio will give you the site score. So the higher that number, higher the more prestigious that journal is. That is what is inferred from it. So from our result search page, this is the column for the site score, and this is the journal. Nature Reviews Molecular Cell Biology is a site score of 140.9. Nature Medicine has 91.9. So this is a medicine journal. Cell is another biology related journal, but used by biomedical engineers, in all interdisciplinary areas, including biochemistry, genetics, and molecular biology. And that citation site score is 77. And I'm giving an example of one journal called Lancet, which started publication from 1823. And I'm looking at Scopus Sources. Remember, I showed you the link for sources. And when you click on sources link, you can search for a specific title. And type Lancet, and that gave me this link. And you will also see a section on site score for that title. So here is site score for Lancet for 2021. In those 4 years, there were this many number of citations that Lancet had received, 198,711. And in that year range, there were 1,723 documents were published. And that ratio is the site score for Lancet. And 129 is site score tracker for 2022. So there recent data for it. So it has gone up. Now we'll briefly look into author profile. Many times we are interested in learning about how this particular researcher has done, what kind of papers they have published. I want to know whether he has or she has preprints published. All of that information is available in author profile data. Again, I strongly recommend to you create a registered user by creating an account. What Scopus author profile does is you can be able to see the research output, you can see the impact and collaborations. And collaborations is a key, as many interdisciplinary researchers from variety of subject disciplines collaborate. And even when you are submitting a grant application, it is important sometimes that you have this interdisciplinary collaboration. And I have seen many times that there are more than 50 or 60 researchers have collaborated in certain areas. And author profiles allow potential employers and funding agencies to evaluate your work quickly, easily in one place, inform hiring and promotion decisions, decide which researchers or teams of researchers will receive research grant. So it is very important to look into these author profiles and see how researchers have done. And I'm going to take one of our Drexel professors example, Hassan Ayaz, and look at his author profile. And you will see that it has uh, 2,592 documents and 4,004 citations. He has 357 co-authors already. So much collaboration from various institutions, including those from Drexel as well as from universities, not just from US, but maybe some international universities. And you can see the H-index 35 and his ORCID ID. Rachel mentioned earlier about ORCID, and we are going to have a workshop on this, or webinar on this. So I strongly encourage you to take that, because it is going to be very important for every researcher, faculty member, advanced grad students to have his or her ORCID ID, which is a unique identification for a particular author. And you can see the trends, um, mm, what are the most topics that Hassan Ayaz contributed in the last 4 or 5 years. And then I'm not going to go into details of it, but you can also click on Analyze Author Output and Citation Overview for more in-depth analysis of the authors. Now, as I mentioned, preprints. Hassan also has 6 prints posted, so you can find what are those preprints that Hassan has contributed to. Preprints are not peer reviewed, which is the latest research as it comes. Idea is that current research is published through preprints, and wide audience researchers worldwide is able to see what has happened in the field. And you can also click on, actually I have clicked on Analyze Author Output and found what are the different authors that he has collaborated with. These are all the authors with whom his collaboration. Highest number of paper with Bano Oneral, Dr. Bano Oneral. With him, he has published 50 co-authored documents. And you can see all other researchers here that he has published. You can export, you can email, you can print. And what else you can do with Scopus? Get noticed by right people, find and follow experts, discover, get inspired, browse with ease of mind. And you can learn more about all of this at the Scopus page. So 17 billion research profiles with 81 million created documents and 80,000 institution profiles with 7,000 publishers accessed. And these are all, if you click on this link, you will see all different search tips under training. There are a lot of different tutorials available. These are just the 3 of them I have listed here. There's a support center here, a lot of webinars, tutorials, links available. I have also created links to all the Scopus tutorial here. So please explore them to go more in-depth analysis of Scopus. What I have given you is simply the basics of Scopus, but there's a lot more to it. I strongly encourage you to explore these tutorials, webinars. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to interact, ask questions to me or any one of us in the libraries. I will more than happy to help you. I love to interact and engage with our faculty, our students, our researchers. And my philosophy is that I ask questions and they ask me questions, and that process helps us discover the right information late. And thank you so much. I'm going to stop sharing now.
Thank you so much, Jay. So much valuable information in that session. Really appreciate it. I do not see any questions in chat, but as Jay mentioned, you do know how to get a hold of us, and I will be dropping those links in with this recording when we post it to YouTube, and we'll send it out to registrants as well. So if there's nothing else today, I just want to thank everyone for attending and have a great and wonderful Wednesday.